come along?
I ain't say that.
Okay.
I didn't say that. What I did say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
Hey, Suge, yeah, Justin Bieber has been getting this out in different ways. You could see it in his music and just what he's been trying to say without saying.
All right, buckle up because we're diving into a jaw-dropping saga that has everyone buzzing. Usher, one of the biggest music icons of our time, is now at the heart of a courtroom drama that could rock Hollywood to its core. Yes, you heard that right. Usher, the smooth-voiced superstar who became a household name in the 90s, is now tangled up in a scandal involving none other than Diddy comes. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about Usher. This explosive story brings other major figures into the mix and unravels a web of allegations so shocking and bizarre, it reads like something straight out of a high-budget thriller. So what exactly is going on? Let's break it all down.
Moved to New York City, and I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy.
Take a step back in time to when Usher was just a teenager. Picture this. A young, wide-eyed talent being sent to live with one of the most powerful moguls in the music industry at the time, Diddy. Usher was still a minor when he moved into Diddy's New York home, a place that would ultimately play a major role in shaping both his career and his life, for better or worse. This wasn't just some casual arrangement. It was a move orchestrated by Leigh Reid, co-founder of Lafis Records, who believed Diddy could give Usher the edge he needed. Reid even dubbed it Flavor Camp. On the surface, it all seemed innocent enough. But as you dig deeper, the situation quickly becomes far more complicated.
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you
I
saying?
went there to see the lifestyle.
Over the years, Usher's comments about his time living at Diddy's house have only raised more questions than answers. In one interview, Usher described the experience as wild and crazy, revealing that he witnessed things he didn't fully understand at the time. So what exactly did he see? Usher has always been cautious about providing too many specifics, but he's dropped enough hints to suggest that some moments were far from ordinary. In a resurfaced 2016 interview with Howard Stern, Usher shared that he saw events and behaviors that left a lasting mark on him. While he downplayed the idea of anything inappropriate happening to him directly, the way he phrased his statements left fans to speculate about what really went down behind closed doors.
He says that he showed up at this party or woke up at this party and didn't understand how he got there, that he's insinuating clearly that he'd been but woke up and at one point saw Gloria Estefan and Emilio Estefan, and Gloria is saying, hey, we need to get him medical help because he's too, get an ambulance, get him.
Are starting to take on a whole new significance. Why? Because Usher is reportedly gearing up to testify in court against Diddy. According to insiders, his testimony could finally reveal the truth about what really went on during his time in Diddy's world. But here's the twist. This isn't just about Usher's own experiences. His testimony is expected to connect to a much broader web of allegations against Diddy, including accusations from other individuals who have claimed the mogul engaged in deeply troubling behavior.
That's a fact that anybody can find. But what happened once he got into this party at Diddy's house is outrageous. And I know we're supposed to take every lawsuit seriously because we don't know, we weren't there. The Gloria Estefan part, that's just a start. How Beyonce gets involved.
One of the accusers making waves is Joseph Manzaro, whose lawsuit against Diddy has sent shockwaves through the industry. Manzaro alleges that he endured horrific treatment at one of Diddy's notorious freak-off parties back in 2015. And this wasn't just your run-of-the-mill Hollywood party chaos. According to the lawsuit, Manzaro claims he was coerced and humiliated in ways that are almost too disturbing to fully detail. The accusations include being paraded around in a degrading outfit and forced into situations that no one should ever have to face. It's the kind of shocking story that makes you question everything you thought you knew about the glittering world of celebrity life.
Yeah, look, this is one of the most shocking lawsuits I've read. If this had been the first Diddy lawsuit, our jaws would be on the floor, but there's a quality to it that sounds like almost a screenplay being written, because he says he was lapsing sort of in and out of consciousness, and he's hearing voices of celebrities throughout this lawsuit. There's obviously the mask that he says he was wearing and being degraded and humiliated. There's also a bit of a Mad Libs quality of the other defendants.
Here's where things take an even darker turn. Monzero's lawsuit also names other high-profile figures who were allegedly present during these events. Names like Jay-Z, Beyoncé, and LeBron James have all been thrown into the mix. It's important to note that these individuals are not being accused of any wrongdoing, but their alleged presence at these gatherings adds a whole new layer of intrigue and controversy to the story. Imagine being at a party where something truly outrageous is happening, and then having to explain your connection to it years later. That's the uncomfortable position some of these celebrities now find themselves in, regardless of whether they were aware of the allegations at the time.
There were presumably be people who could verify it or say it didn't happen.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems. You're right. When you mention all those people, they may all have alibis.
Well, Jay-Z certainly seems to have one.
Yeah.
So Jay-Z has mentioned that he's there with Beyonce, but we know that Jay-Z was in New York
Yes.
the night that it was supposed to be. Now,
the night of King Combs of his birthday, which just happens to be.
He was already in a compromised state due to intoxication. From there, he says he was taken to an extravagant mansion, where he was forced to participate in humiliating acts, all while a crowd of onlookers jeered and taunted him. The lawsuit further describes how he was dressed in a degrading manner that stripped him of his dignity and made to endure treatment that left him both physically and emotionally scared. If these allegations are true, they expose a level of cruelty and depravity that is almost impossible to comprehend.
These are all allegations, very wild allegations laid out in this lawsuit. As Derek said, there are elements of it that sound like some of the other lawsuits, but we have not heard a response back from.
And this is where Usher re-enters the story. While Monzero's lawsuit centers around a specific event in 2015, Usher's upcoming testimony is expected to reveal a broader pattern of behavior that allegedly spans decades. Insiders say Usher could offer first-hand accounts of what he saw and experienced during his time living with Diddy. If his testimony aligns with the claims made by other accusers, it could paint a damning picture of the music mogul and the toxic culture he is accused of fostering.
Just an escape from me. I was just young, like everybody in the industry and people in the world, and experiment.
But Usher isn't the only one who might have stories to share. Over the years, several others have subtly alluded to similar experiences. For example, Justin Bieber's interactions with Diddy have come under increased scrutiny in light of recent events. Old videos and comments from Bieber's teenage years are being re-examined, with both fans and critics questioning the true nature of his relationship with Diddy. In one resurfaced clip, Diddy even joked about having custody of Bieber for 48 hours, describing their time together as a 15-year-old's dream. At the time, it may have seemed like harmless fun, but in today's context, those remarks take on a much darker and more troubling tone.
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, you try to get in contact with me, through all my,
And there's the broader scope of allegations against Diddy. Monzero's lawsuit is just one of many that have surfaced in recent months, each adding more weight to the growing case against him. From accusations of trafficking to claims of physical abuse, the list of allegations is as extensive as it is disturbing. While Diddy's legal team has firmly denied all wrongdoing, the sheer number of these claims has made them impossible to ignore. What's particularly unsettling is how these allegations seem to point to a larger culture of exploitation within the entertainment industry. If true, they suggest that Diddy wasn't acting alone, but was allegedly part of a network that enabled and perpetuated these behaviors. This is where Usher's testimony could become a game changer. By speaking out, he has the potential not only to hold Diddy accountable, but also to expose the systemic issues that allowed this behavior to go unchecked for so long. Of course, there's still much we don't know. Usher has yet to publicly comment on what he plans to say in court, and it's unclear how much of his testimony will be made public. But one thing is certain, when Usher takes the stand, all eyes will be on him. His words could either support the allegations against Diddy or complicate matters even further, depending on what he chooses to reveal.
And there has been a lot going on. Since November, there have been 8 civil lawsuits filed against Diddy. 7 of them accuse him of sexual assault.
The ripple effects of this case could extend far beyond the two of them, potentially implicating others within the industry and triggering a long overdue reckoning. The entertainment world has already faced its fair share of scandals in recent years, from the #MeToo movement to the fall of other powerful figures. Could this be the next major chapter in Hollywood's ongoing battle with its darkest secrets? Only time will tell.
I'm not surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointee. He has a civil background.
Firmly on Usher and his decision to step forward. It's undeniably a courageous move, but one that comes with considerable risks. As more details emerge, the stakes continue to rise, not just for Usher, but for everyone involved in this complex web of allegations. With Diddy's trial set to begin in May, time is running out. What will Usher reveal, and how will it impact the case against Diddy? These are the questions everyone's asking, and the answers could change everything. Now let's pick up where we left off, because this story is only getting more intense with each new twist. With Usher's testimony on the horizon and the mounting allegations against Diddy, the burning question is, how deep does this go? Let's face it, this isn't just about one man's actions anymore. What we might be witnessing is the unraveling of an entire network of secrets and complicity within Hollywood. The stakes couldn't be higher, and if Usher's revelations are as explosive as insiders are suggesting, this could be the moment that shakes the entertainment industry to its very foundation.
Now, look at Diddy, for instance. Let's take a look at him. Let's take a look at. He has videos. He has videos of the parties. Now, what I've heard, which I don't know how much of it is in mainstream media, I don't really follow the story that much. But what I've heard from friends that are attorneys, friends of mine that have represented me before, agents and so on, is there's a bidding war.
Let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here. Usher's decision to speak out isn't just a personal risk. It's a move that could have far-reaching consequences for some of the biggest names in showbiz. Think about it. Diddy's alleged behavior didn't happen in a vacuum. If even a fraction of the rumors are true, it suggests that many people were either directly involved or chose to turn a blind eye. And that raises some uncomfortable questions. Who else knew what was happening? Who helped cover it up? And who might be next to face the fallout? The entertainment world has always been a tight-knit community where reputations are everything and loyalty often means staying silent. But as we've seen with past scandals, once the dam breaks, the floodwaters are impossible to contain. Remember how the #MeToo movement exposed decades of misconduct in Hollywood? This situation has the potential to be just as transformative, if not more so, because it's not just about one kind of misconduct. The allegations span a range of deeply troubling behaviors, and if Usher's testimony connects the dots, it could trigger a chain reaction that leaves no corner of the industry untouched.
Same thing for Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the The interesting thing about the Epstein and the theory about Epstein is we know he filmed people for sure on that island. He has a lot of movies, a lot of films of people that are very, very powerful political figures, and entertainers, business people. So, do you really believe that Jeffrey Epstein himself? And of course not.
And let's not overlook the other celebrities whose names have already been dragged into this mess. Take Beyoncé and Jay-Z, for example. Their alleged presence at one of Diddy's infamous gatherings has sparked endless speculation, even though there's no concrete evidence to suggest they were involved in anything inappropriate. Still, their connection to Diddy, whether casual or distant, has suddenly become a topic of intense scrutiny. They're not alone in this, though. LeBron James, Gloria Estefan, and others have also found themselves swept up in the storm of allegations, with their representatives working overtime to issue denials and clarify timelines. It's a classic case of guilt by association, and while some may argue it's unfair, it also highlights just how high the stakes are in situations like this.
Did you ever spend time with the guy? Did you ever meet Diddy?
I've met him before, yeah.
How was he?
Very nice guy, very smart, super business. I mean, he's very successful.
Let's be clear. This isn't just about protecting reputations for some of these celebrities. For many, the stakes are far more personal. If Usher's testimony or Manzaro's lawsuit reveals that others were complicit in any way, it could trigger a legal and professional reckoning the likes of which Hollywood has rarely seen. Just imagine the fallout if it turns out that high-profile stars knowingly participated in or covered up questionable behavior. Careers could be shattered overnight, endorsement deals could evaporate, and fans could turn their backs en masse. Let's be honest, Hollywood loves a comeback story, but there are some things that are simply unforgivable in the court of public opinion.
So I'll tell you, I don't know how much. I don't like to say things that I know unless I see it. There's a little difference, But was it discussed? Was there descriptions from people I know that were at those? Yes, but here's another thing. So how many of these big entertainment parties and over the years and everything, as successful as you are, have you been around? Does anyone ever come up to you at a certain hour and say, okay, it's time to go? At those parties, they...
Even more unsettling is the possibility that some of these celebrities might have been victims themselves. The entertainment industry has long been rife with stories of exploitation, and it's not hard to imagine a scenario where young talent was lured into situations they didn't fully understand, only to find themselves trapped by the very system they believed would help them achieve their dreams. If Usher's testimony exposes a culture of manipulation and coercion, it could open the floodgates for others to share their own stories. If that happens, the ripple effects could be felt for years to come. And then there's the issue of the threats Usher is reportedly facing. According to insiders, his decision to testify against Diddy hasn't exactly been met with open arms in certain circles. There are whispers of behind-the-scenes pressure to stay silent, with some even suggesting that Usher's safety could be in jeopardy. It's a chilling reminder of how high the stakes are in cases like this, where powerful figures will go to great lengths to protect their empires. While Usher has always been known for his resilience, it's clear that speaking out comes with significant risks, not just for him, but for anyone brave enough to challenge the status quo.
$1 billion or whatever, I think he has that kind of power, meaning Sean himself. But remember, it goes a lot deeper than that.
Here's where things get even more complicated. There are whispers that Usher may not be the only one preparing to speak out. Sources close to the situation have suggested that other celebrities, some of whom were part of Diddy's inner circle during his most active years, are now considering their options. For years, these individuals have remained silent, either out of fear of retaliation or because they were bound by non-disclosure agreements and other legal barriers. But with Usher reportedly taking the first step, it could pave the way for others to come forward. Imagine the impact if multiple high-profile figures decide to share their experiences. It could ignite a wave of revelations that shakes the entire industry to its core.